And now, Warming Center Wednesdays with the Flathead Warming Center and KGEZ's John Hendricks, where we tackle hard conversations around the complex causes of homelessness and discuss how we as a community can collaborate to address them.
Joining me today, the Executive Director of the Warming Center, is Tanya Horn. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me back.
Oh, you bet. So now let's talk about some of the complex issues that you deal with for homeless people.
You know, as the Flathead Warming Center, we're a part of the solution, just a part of the solution. So we like to talk about collaboration a lot because no one entity or no one individual can help address homelessness. It's going to take that community collaboration that we talk about a lot. I can share about inside the Warming Center how we address homelessness, and then we can talk more about the community perspective.
Let's start there.
Thank you. We want our community to understand that we provide the tools and resources that people need to get out of homelessness. And we do that in different ways. One way would be through our roadmap program. And that is when our guests every 7 days enter into that individualized plan, a step-by plan to what you need to do first and second and third to get out of homelessness. And our staff provide the accountability and the support for each of our guests to be able to travel. It's a long road from homeless to home. And we integrate our resource links into our roadmaps. And a resource link is a beautiful thing inside the Warming Center. It's beautiful to see our community partners coming into the Warming Center to provide their services and their resources, to start that relationship with our guests and to help them really get the tools and resources that they need to move beyond homelessness.
Yeah, there's something you said just stuck with me there, and I'm thinking, people, when they want to lose weight, they forget that it took them months, years to get to that point, and then they expect they can lose the weight like that.
Yes.
And it takes as long oftentimes to get back to where you want to be than it did for you to get to that position in the first place. You find that with homeless people?
I do. Sometimes it can be an immediate tragedy that leads to homelessness. Mm-hmm. But I do find the road to be a step-by-step to get back to where an individual was. Mm-hmm. It's a long road.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of support, and it takes a community of support.
It just seems to me to be insurmountable. I can't imagine what it must be feeling like. You're desperate, and it just seems like everywhere you turn.
It can seem, unachievable till you have a relationship with a person who believes in you. That goes a long way when our guests, not just inside the Warming Center, but outside the Warming Center, someone saying hello to them on the street and seeing them as a person, that goes a long way in building that hope. That's so very important.
You said this in one of our earlier shows, and I've kind of started doing that. I used to just kind of walk by what I thought was a homeless person, and ignoring. I wasn't trying to ignore. It's
uncomfortable.
I didn't know how to approach.
Yeah.
And what I've started doing is looking him in the eye. What I've started doing is saying hello. Not stopping and having a conversation, just saying hello and recognizing these are human beings with feelings just like I do.
What kind of response did you get?
I usually get somebody who smiles back at me, but sometimes I get a response like they're afraid of me.
Yeah. I think there is a lot of fear within our homeless community, without a doubt. Mm-hmm. But what can break down those walls is just the regular human decency. And I often wondered if we saw the individual carrying a picture of what they looked like growing up, or maybe what their family was, that would change our perspective in really seeing them as a human being.
Mm-hmm. So talk with me about the Housing Collaborative and how it all works.
That's a joy to talk about. And I don't think a lot in our community understand that there is collaboration happening amongst stakeholders with housing services. And we come together and we have a 10-year plan to address homelessness. We're broken down into committees, and we're actively working on some of the things that are concerning to our community, but also to help the people that we serve. And addressing bigger community issues is really huge. The name of the collaborative is Collaborative Housing Solutions of Northwest Montana, CHS. And our community needs to be aware of that, because we need all stakeholders to get involved as we collaborate together.
We have a tremendous amount of philanthropy going on here in the Flathead, and that philanthropy is contributing to many, many nonprofit organizations who are in a position to help if we only knew it.
Absolutely. And we have a very generous community. Whether it's those that have a lot of money, or whether it's the grandma that comes in and brings her soap that she got from a motel that she stayed at. It's everyone giving of something, because our motto at the Flathead Warming Center is we take care of each other in the Flathead. And we get a front row seat to see that happen over and over and over again.
So I guess it's time for us to have a hard conversation. This time we'll talk about how the community can collaborate together. Tanya Horn is with us, and we'll do that right after this. At Emmanuel Living, their vibrant community is more than just a place to live. It's a place to thrive. Their community is full of activity, offering residents a dynamic environment to engage and connect. You'll enjoy a rich array of social events, clubs, and recreational opportunities designed to invigorate and to inspire. From fitness classes to cultural outings, there's always something exciting happening. Their commitment to fostering an active and engaging environment ensures that residents can lead enriching lives filled with joy and purpose. Discover all that Emmanuel Living has to offer. Inquire today at 406-752-9625 and start your journey toward meaningful, vibrant living.
I'm Kip Tkachuk, Program Director and Forensic Interviewer for the Flathead County Children's Advocacy Center, a program of the Flathead County Sheriff's Office. The Flathead County Children's Advocacy Center provides services to child victims of crime involving physical and sexual abuse. FCCAC also directs and coordinates our multidisciplinary team comprised of 9 agencies, each having responsibilities for the well-being and protection of our community's kids. Our team also enhances the system responses designed to protect our children by providing victim advocacy, therapeutic referrals, forensic medical exams, forensic interviews, and case review to improve case outcomes. With your help and financial support, we can provide services for more of our community's children, offer better training for our professionals who work with them, and improve our outcomes in and out of the courtroom. You can contact me directly by emailing fccac@flathead.mt.gov or by calling 758-5593. That's 758-5593.
And now, back to Warming Center Wednesdays with the Flathead Warming Center and KGEZ's John Hendricks.
Our conversation today with the Warming Center and the Executive Director, Tanya Horn. Tanya, so let's talk about collaboration, and why is that such a hard conversation?
Well, I think it's a hard conversation, and I would like to start that with, there are times that the Warming Center is viewed as the problem. And I think that's very unfortunate. So I like to tackle that head on.
All right.
I believe that we've been misrepresented without facts. I believe that there's a lot of misconceptions out there about what we do and who we serve and where they came from. So a lot of misconception. And I also think that we've had periods of time within our community that we don't know what to do. We're alarmed. And so we start to blame. And I've seen the blame passed around to lots of different people, not just the Warming Center, but kind of that blame, the blame game is wrong. And when people give information that's wrong without even so much as talking to us at the Warming Center, that just breeds that miscommunication and those misconceptions. What I would propose to overcome this is get to know what we do, get to know who we serve and how we do it. That's a little bit about what Warming Center Wednesdays is about. And understand that we're unable to serve everyone. There are individuals within our community that we can't serve. And so understanding that we hold people accountable within the walls of the warming center, but we can't hold people accountable across town in a park or something like that. But we do advocate for accountability 100%. And to understand that when we bring people inside to warmth and safety and structure, our whole community is safer and stronger. If they're inside the warming center, they're not on someone's front porch. And when they're inside the warming center, and we can do what we try to do very hard is to teach our guests how to be good neighbors, that has a ripple effect to our whole community. And that's a very strong value that we have in the warming center, is teaching our guests to be a good neighbor.
You know, when we deal in generalities, oftentimes various issues get pushed in together. An example, we have a drug problem. There's no question. We've got a serious drug problem here. So, and we have a homeless problem. It's easy for somebody to just simply say, well, they're on drugs and they're homeless.
We tend to group everyone together, and we do because we're seeing something that we don't understand, and a lot of times we're fearful of the things that we don't understand. So grouping everyone together, and there's a lot of damage to the reputation of the overall homeless community when we do that, because just a few can damage the reputation of all. And that is very, very unfortunate, because the few that have these uncivilized behaviors that we see within the community don't speak for the majority of the homeless population. I love to share about the homeless community together, what they are together. It's amazing when there's not enough room at the warming center and we open the door and they realize not everyone is going to get a bed for that night. We see the best of humanity at that time when we see individuals step out of line for someone who has a disability, or for a woman, or for a family, knowing that they're going to be out in the cold that night because they just could not stand that. There's a lot of humanity in that we can all learn. And we see the homeless community within the warming center taking care of each other all the time. We need to, as an overall community, we need to stop seeing that this is the homeless community and this is us, and see how we can come together for much stronger collaboration.
Talk with me about some of the groups that you're able to collaborate with. Let's say, for example, somebody can't get in and it's cold. Is there somebody that can pick up where you left off?
That's a struggle because the other shelters are full. No, there's not. We try to educate and give as much advance notice by doing a most consecutive nights list, so that a person can know that if we open the door and there's not enough beds, that they may have prepared for a night to sleep on someone's couch or maybe a hotel. But really, there aren't very many other places to go. Before we started, people slept in the police station lobby. And if it was a real cold night, I'm pretty sure that they might be able to do that. But that is not ideal. That is not what our police station lobby is for.
Yeah, and can't be very comfortable either.
Sleeping up in a chair never is.
Yeah. So talk with me about your vision for community collaboration. How is this all going to work, Tanya?
I want you to imagine the homeless sitting across from the table with homeowners, with business owners. Imagine that scenario if the business owner were to start to understand, we got to find a way to provide bathrooms within our community. And if the homeless person were to understand that the business, that's their livelihood, and they don't need people hanging out in front of their businesses. If we could start to have those type of conversations and start to better understand each other, I have no doubt that as a community, we can find some incredible, incredible solutions. And the homeless need to be a part of that conversation. If the homeless are not a part of that conversation, any solution that we come up with to the homeless individual, that doesn't work well. When they're a part of that conversation, it's what we do together as a community that can be transformational in the Flathead.
Well, I see a lot more transformation coming. Thank you for all that you do, and your staff and your volunteers and the people who donate to the Warming Center.
Thank you for Warming Center Wednesdays.
Thank you for joining us for another Warming Center Wednesday. Did you miss it, or would you like to share it with friends? Find today's and past shows via flatheadwarmingcenter.org. It's Warming Center Wednesdays on KGEZ 96.5 FM and 600 AM.